Walibi Belgium has the largest collection of roller coasters in all of the Benelux.
I am the king!
Quite a stacked lineup with something for everyone and a bunch of variety. It's pretty impressive for a park with a third of its coaster being shuttle coasters. And these rides offer both high thrills, impressive theming, unique elements, and lots of joy. But which are better than others?
You've got to think harder than you've ever thought before.
It's not a park with a clear lineup of worst to best. Even the second best ride here can vary immensely, depending on who you ask. So let's go over what my top 9 favorites are. Starting with Vampire. Is anyone surprised?
No.
Everyone loves to trash on good old Vekoma SLCs. I'd like to say I'm different, but nope. Like you'd expect, you'll get a ton of roughness and rattling that'll throw you violently around and beat you up, head and body both. It's not the worst SLC I've done. That title goes to Condor, and that's even after the addition of vest restraints.
Dear God.
The layout itself is of course completely fine outside of shaping. The inversions actually hold quite a lot of force, and the hang time on the inline twist can be pretty awesome when this doesn't happen. So it'd be a great ride if it was only a lot smoother, but Vampire still manages to be a big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
It looks cool though. Number 8 is Fun Pilot. Zira is known for their family coasters, and I've always quite liked them. This Force 190 model may seem familiar to some of you Americans out there, as it shares layout with Grover's Alpine Express, Air Grover, and more elsewhere. I like this ride.
Good stuff.
There's nothing particularly special about it, but it's also far from a bad kiddie coaster. Zira has done much worse. It's got a fun, speedy drop, enjoyable helices, and the theme and the colors honestly put me in a good mood.
Everything is great.
I got Frank Sinatra playing loudly in my head whenever I see this little ride.
Come fly with me.
It's just a really wholesome little ride. Number 7 is Calamity Mine. It seems to me that this Vekoma mine train is a fan favorite. At least it's only me and my friends I've ever heard trash talk it, which has happened extensively. To give you some context, we all sat in the front, and I guess it must be a back row ride because the front sucks baloney. This ride is shaky and uncomfortable in general. It's a mix between the seats, the restraint, and the roughness that kills it for me. And then there's the house of the front car, the locomotive itself.
I hate you!
I got beaten up once or twice by hitting my head on the damn thing, making this probably the only coaster with lap bars I've ever gotten headbanging on. Wow. Granted, the theming on this ride is really nice, and I really like the tunnels and the Wild West detailing everywhere. It's not the most complete theming, but it's definitely the best part of it. It still has some fun to it, but I'd also call it a gold wash on wheels.
Still the gold wash.
Number 6 is Cobra, the most Australian coaster model in existence, the Boomerang. Except this is themed to India. Boomerangs don't have the best reputation, but I'll have to say I find them to be pretty good. While Speed of Sound reigns supreme of the two I've done,
Know your fucking place!
Cobra isn't any rougher, and it still delivers the bone-crushing forces some of you have come to love. Let's be real, old Vekoma loops, which are basically aero loops, are forceful as all hell, especially backwards. The Cobra roll isn't lacking intensity either. Cobra roll, get it? I still don't like going backwards though. That's my kryptonite. So basically half of the ride sucks. But in short, it's a pretty good and not uncomfortable thrill coaster with a lot of intensity. Number 5 is Tiki Waka. This is certainly the quirkiest and funkiest wild mouse I've ever done. Meet one of the greatest showcases of what a Gerstlauer bobsled can do that Mach doesn't do with their wild mice.
Do nothing.
This fun little Polynesian themed ride is a great family coaster. It's a very balanced ride with good and fun forces for all, while still keeping it chill as to not be too thrilling. And it results in pretty good lateral fill turns with odd shaping, as well as weaker floater moments to keep you off your toes. Literally, I suppose. Of course, it's got several mid-course brake runs, and oh boy, my favorite. But even those don't manage to kill the pacing. Too bad, losers. Overall, it's a pretty good family coaster and a pretty good wild mouse. Not the best, but very far from the worst. Number 4 is Pulsar. Mach seems to have a thirst for experimental coasters these days. This Power Splash model shows that very well, because they combine a water coaster with an airtime launch coaster with a shuttle coaster and smack that shit in a lake. Needless to say, it worked. Pulsar is by no means a very thrilling ride, but it has its shine. It begins as a flat ride, before slowly and forcelessly launching you backwards. Then, when you launch again, you'll get a good kick and start to experience decent floater airtime, and the final launch especially has power, and you get ejected off your bum at that point. Unfortunately, the spikes do not do a whole bunch. They were definitely disappointing, but you can always improve them by shouting "wee." But overall, Pulsar offers a ride of intensity with a few proper thrilling moments before splish splashing tsunami style. It's not much, but it's definitely honest work. At number 3 is Psyche Underground. If we copy-paste Pulsar, surgically remove its airtime hill, replace it with a loop, and put it in a box, you've basically got this Schwarzkopf shuttle loop coaster. Psyche's launch is singular and doesn't hold nearly the same power of the final launch of the water coaster, which actually sounds kind of pathetic when I say it out loud, but it does lead into a loop of intensity and awesome darkness with party lights and music. Well, the music is in the station, but it's still there. This loop is also experienced backwards and actually manages to be just as awesome as going forwards. This is a really good vertical loop with some awesome vibes all around. The spikes on here also don't do squat.
You have nothing to contribute to this.
And it even trims before the final spike. Thanks, Psyche Underground. I really needed a party pooper moment. And while the ride basically only has one element that really stands out, it combines greatly with the theming to make a pretty cool ride that I really enjoyed. Quite impressive, really. And number 2 is Lucaro. Now we're moving into the ones I really enjoy.
Finally, some good fucking food.
When I say the words the Coma Wooden Coaster, I imagine a lot of mixed feelings coming up in all of you. My feeling is satisfied and bruised up. The best of both worlds. To address the giraffe in the garage, it's definitely a rough ride. I agree with that 100%. The worst part is by far the lap bar, which has an undeniable desire to drill into you with all its might. Great fun, but if you can manage that sumbitch and maybe even hold it up during the ride, which sucks, I know, the ride gets really good from there. The seats are literally couches and the layout is awesome. Write this fricker in the back row and I guarantee you ejector airtime here, and here, while also having more floater and flagector moments. It absolutely slaps, even in the front row. And don't forget the laterals, because there's plenty of that too. I'll gladly let this ride kick my ass for its forces. Worth it. I understand why people don't like it. It certainly doesn't let you go easy, but man, I had a lot of fun on this ride. But let's be real, it's definitely gonna get RMC'd one day.
Run as fast as you can.
Number 1 is Conda. I don't think anybody is surprised. Walibi Belgium needed a proper standout coaster for a long time, and this big boy intimate mega coaster brought it home hard. It's one of the most perfect layouts I've ever ridden, executed by the gods.
Thank you, God.
Don't mention it.
You've got so much packed into this awesome, massive, long roller coaster, and I'm here for all of it. It has my favorite first drop of all time, bonkers ejector fill camelbacks, including my favorite element on any coaster I've ever done, the outer bank camelback. It's got a buttload of small and hard-hitting ejector moments in rapid-fire succession, making it feel like a Tagada. But seriously though, it's easily got one of my favorite endings to any ride ever. And it's got weird shit too. There's a lot of mixed feelings about the non-inverting Cobra roll, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. As well as the wave turn, that was also great fun. Those are the only 2 moments on the ride that aren't absolute batshit hard-hitting force, and I enjoy all of it anyway. Outside of it hitting a strike in the airtime department with its dozen-plus strong ejector moments, it also excels in positive forces and fun lateral moments. No matter where you ride this, you'll come off satisfied and thirsty for more. There's absolutely nothing bad I want to say about the best intimate I've done. Many people say it's the definition of a perfect roller coaster, and if you disregard the entire experience with theming and storytelling and stuff like that, I absolutely agree.
Darling, you were perfect.
That's not to say it doesn't have nice theming, because it has an awesome plaza and the station is great, and the front car is so fucking cool. It's really strong, it's really smooth, and it's really creative, and I'm drooling. Man, this park is awesome. It's definitely one of the best parks in the Benelux, and I absolutely had a blast here. There are so many good rides here, and these were just my top 9 roller coasters. The dark rides and the water rides and even more are all great as well. So let me know what you think about Walibi Belgium and the roller coasters or other rides down in the comments below. And otherwise, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go to bed because it's really late and shit. Holy crap.
I'm gonna go home, go to bed.
Bye.
Oh, no.